news in the American morning. The most news in the morning, period. Weekdays 6 Eastern.
Is patent... Wait, no, Hillary, you just spoke.
I did not say anything about Ronald Reagan.
You think this race isn't personal? Then you didn't watch.
While I was working on those streets, watching those folks see their jobs shipped overseas, you were a corporate lawyer sitting on the board of Walmart.
They read their Oppo research, used it frequently, and never gave an inch.
I was fighting against those ideas when you were practicing law and representing your contributor, Resco, in his slum landlord business in inner city Chicago.
Also, John Edwards was there.
I also want to know on behalf of voters here in South Carolina, this kind of squabbling, how many children is this going to get health care?
So, first victim, that high-minded campaign on the issues. And even when they did get down to it, hostilities simmered, each accusing the other of distorting the truth. An economic stimulus plan. Obama said Clinton changed hers to match his. She said it wasn't so. Fiscal responsibility. She said he can't pay for his plans. He said it wasn't the truth. On health care.
There's nothing wrong with us arguing about this, but I believe that there is not a single man, woman, and child in America who's not worthy of health care.
It was 2-on-1. Edwards and Clinton have health care plans that mandate insurance for everyone, with government subsidies for those who can't afford it. Obama's plan pivots on offering the same subsidies but driving down costs so people can afford health insurance.
And you mandate on families to buy health insurance that they can't afford. And if they don't buy it, you fine them or in some other way take money from them.
The Clinton campaign thinks this is a winner. It's one of her favorite subjects.
I think that the whole idea of universal health care is such a core Democratic principle that I am willing to go to the mat for it.
But mostly, this was a debate dominated by the dynamics of a tight race with big stakes.
Senator Obama, it is very difficult having a straight-up debate with you because you never take responsibility for any vote.
And two candidates with raw nerve endings.
These are the kinds of political games that we are accustomed to. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. Just a minute.
Candy Crowley, CNN, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I just want to clarify.
Anyone who thinks that this race is not personal wasn't watching tonight. This was a debate of moments, Anderson. It began when Barack Obama said that he was helping people on the streets of Chicago who had lost their jobs overseas while she was on the corporate board of Walmart. Not that much time later, she said, well, listen, I was arguing against Ronald Reagan's policies while you were representing a slumlord in Chicago. It went on from there. There were other moments. At one point, Barack Obama said something about President Clinton not representing Barack Obama's record correctly, and he said, sometimes I feel like I'm running against the two of you. In between this was John Edwards sort of counter-programming, if you will, saying, well, wait a minute, how does all of this actually give children health care? How does it get them a better education? Even when they got to the issues, Anderson, I thought health care was sort of a perfect time for them because they did talk about what their proposals were, sort of a gang up from John Edwards and Hillary Clinton about Barack Obama's proposal, because it is not a mandatory health insurance proposal. So there was a good back and forth there, but there was always this kind of simmering hostility which has come to really typify what's going on in this campaign.
Let me just get in here because there are a lot of polls showing that I'm beating them higher than anybody else. I don't think frankly that has much to recommend at this far from an election. If John is right and Senator McCain is the Republican nominee, we know that once again we will have a general election about national security. That is what will happen. I believe of any one of us, I am better positioned and better able to take on John McCain or any Republican when it comes to issues about protecting and defending our country and promoting our interests in the world. And if it is indeed the classic Republican campaign, I've been there. I've done that. They've been after me for 16 years, and much to their dismay, I am still here. And I intend to be still here when that election comes around and we win in November 2008.
I just want to add that I don't think it's about polls either, Hillary, by the way. But I do think it is about fundamental differences between us and them. And this is a difference that you and I have. I think that John McCain has made central to his time in public life and his campaign finance reform and cleaning up the money in politics. And I think it's dangerous for us to send somebody against him who presents a contrast to what he represents. And I'm proud of the fact that I've never taken money from a Washington lobbyist or a special interest PAC. And I have a question that I'm interested in hearing you respond to. You've talked a lot about day one. I've committed, I don't know what Brock said about this, but I've committed not to have any corporate lobbyists working in my White House on the first day that I'm president. Will you make the same commitment?
Well, John, I will make a commitment to have people in the White House who are honest and trustworthy and put the interests of the United States first. But
Is that a no?
You know what? I don't know because I'm not in favor of corporate lobbyists, but you keep drawing these artificial distinctions. You take money from people who employ lobbyists, who are married to lobbyists, who are the children of lobbyists. And, at some point, this gets really hard to take because if you are someone like I am who has withstood the full force of corporate lobbyists, starting with the health insurance companies and the drug companies and the oil companies and everybody that I've taken on for all of these years, I think I'm independent and tough enough to be able to deal with anybody, and that's what I intend to do.
Those people, though, here's the problem, Hillary. Everybody's listening. They can make their own judgment about this. They don't have to depend on us. When somebody gives you millions and millions of dollars, I think they expect something. I don't think they're doing it for nothing.
Well, John, the trial lawyers have given you millions and millions of dollars.
And what they expect from me is they expect me to stand up for democracy, for the right to jury trial, for the right for little people to be heard in the courtroom, and that is exactly what I stand up for. That is not the same thing. That is not the same thing as corporate lobbyists who are in there every single day lobbying against the interests of middle-class Americans. And I think we need a president who can stand up. We have a difference about this. You're entitled to your view, but we have a real difference about it.
No, we don't have a real difference. Where I stand is for public financing. I'm going to do everything I can to get public financing, to get the money out of American politics.